Welcome to the Fishbowl Radio, everybody. My name is Chief here, and joining me today is Juicy, and we have a special guest here, Drakkar Francois, jumping into the Fishbowl with us here on the Fishbowl Radio. Let me get everybody welcoming themselves in here. How's it going, Juicy? How's it going, Drakkar?
Oh, it's pretty good, man. How's everything with you?
Pretty good. How about you, Drakkar? How you doing?
Man, everything is good. I'm blessed. I'm alive. How about you, Logan? Everything's all right? And you, Juicy, is everything okay, man?
Oh, everything is all good.
Everything is all good over here on this end here in the Fishbowl. So. We'll lead off here with we'll talk about LSU first, and we'll dive into the Cajuns here on the football side of things. Then we'll worry about basketball because they just started out. But LSU football, they got a big game this week against Texas A&M. Juicy, can you give us any details of that matchup coming up here on the Fishbowl?
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting matchup. I mean, I do think A&M might, keep this game interesting for a little bit because it is a rivalry game, and who's to say? I mean, LSU does tend to start off sluggish. We it's time and time again throughout the year. They start off kind of slow, and they get it together. So I think it might be close for a little while, but I do think that once the offense gets going and they're making in-game adjustments on the defensive side of the ball, I think let's should turn out to start to pull away from this game. So I think it'll be a fun game to watch, though. But A&M is gonna want to definitely in their season on a positive note and try to beat LSU. So we'll see what happens, but I'm just ready to see another game between these two.
All right, Jakar, anything you want to add to that? What Juicy said right there?
Yeah. That was a great point. We all know sometimes LSU can start off a little sluggish, but with this game, I don't think it's going to be like this. Being that this is going to be a big game for LSU, this game is going to determine whether they're going to go to the SEC championship. So this is going to be a big game that they really need. So I think LSU is going to come out firing. I think the offense is going to be rolling. I think the run game is going to be there. I think Jaden is going to be using his legs a lot, and that's going to open things in the passing game. And I think the defense is going to play lights out this Saturday.
Okay, so some interesting stuff here to kind of talk about here. LSU is 35 and 22 against the Aggies so far this in their whole entire history here last year. LSU posted a 27-24 win over Texas A&M in Tiger Stadium. If you're looking at that game here now, what happened last year is last year. Now we're going to go roll into this year, and Texas A&M, their fan support is they're definitely over Jimbo Fisher. Um, I'm wondering if they might try to buy him out this year, but that is a huge buyout for the A&M to do. They might wait 2 or 3 years down the line before they do that, but that big contract, they're gonna have to eat it. They're 4-7 so far this year, 1-6 in the SEC, and it's just if you look at
Go ahead.
if you look at the way these two teams have played here, um, I mean, so far Brian Kelly is the most accomplished LSU hire as a first-year head coach here. So he's won 284 games, and he claimed 3 National Coach of the Year honors in his last 31 years as a head coach there.
I was
So
working on the fourth one here.
yeah, so I'm wondering here, Jaden Daniels, he's gonna make plays with his legs. He's a good dual threat option here. Started off slow in the year, but as the year got on, especially the Florida game, LSU's offense just seemed like they hit another notch or two, or the 2 gears up, if you will. He's only one of 3 FBS quarterbacks so far this year to have 700 rushing yards and over 2,000 passing yards this year. So if A&M's gonna have a hard time, just with him. They're gonna have to put a spy in the linebacking core to kind of watch Daniels move around in the pocket and see if he's gonna take off with his legs. And I mean, you can do a scout team quarterback, but it ain't nothing like the real thing whenever you're out there on Saturday, whenever you're gonna face up against somebody. So that's what I think here. A&M's got to watch out. Daniels' dual threat ability here. You know,
I wouldn't even be worried about the home field crowd no more after what I've seen from UMass and the crowd support, I don't think the crowd's going to be a huge deal for them.
Yeah, they were all ready to leave. Like they had a Twitter on video on Twitter. They were just leaving in droves of the game. It's just crazy to see how much the support. That's why I'm thinking they might actually try to buy him out this year. People think I'm crazy for it, but A&M's got a lot of oil money down there in Texas, so that's
they got to do something.
Yeah.
They got money, but they would have to pay him over $80 million to buy out this year. I don't think they're gonna do that. I think they're gonna prolong it, like you said. They might wait maybe 2 years from now. We'll see them buying them out after this.
Maybe Scott Woodward knew he was coming to LSU as athletic director, so he was like, "Well, let me set up A&M and screw them." You know, one of LSU's biggest rivals. Let me set them up and screw them over for a while.
Now that's some psychological warfare. If that is indeed the case. That is some like underhanded stuff here, but I mean, if like depends on how much LSU offered Scott Woodworth at the time, how much he was making in A&M. You have to get in that kind of conversation there. So Malik Neighbors, he leads all the receivers for LSU this year, 51 receptions for 657 yards and a touchdown, followed by Kayshon Boutte. So with 38 catches for 388 and a touchdown. So the Tigers have one of the most. They have probably the best receiving core probably in the country if you look at them all throughout what they have here. So it's going to be on ESPN. I think LSU's defense is going to swarm over A&M's offense. A&M's offense has looked real sluggish this year and horrible. It's just been a mess, dumpster fire if you want to call it that. That's what I'm thinking here. So so I'm gonna make my pick for this game here. I see LSU winning this game. But I would be warned though. I will warn people here. This is definition of a trap game because LSU might be caught looking ahead to Georgia, which A&M may come up and they might stun LSU, which I don't think it's gonna happen. I think Brian Kelly's got these kids with the right hand on the shoulder here, and they're gonna go out there and College Station, and they'll be able to beat A&M. Who you got in that game, Juicy?
I agree with you. It's a definition of a trap game when you look at it, but based on how Brian Kelly's been able to get how the players have been bought into him, and how he's gotten the players to trust him and whatever, and how he's kept them even after the Tennessee game when they could have just gave up on the season. And that's when their season really turned around. I agree with you. I don't think they're going to lose because based on his track record, I think him and the coaching staff will have the team in their right state of mind and ready to go.
What you think, Jakar?
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. As far as them looking ahead, as far as Georgia. I think that's something that they're doing right now, but the way Brian Kelly has rattled the troops, and like Juicy said, when they played Tennessee, that was literally the turning point in this season. So coming off of that, I think they're going to have the same mindset as far as getting the job done this Saturday. But like I said, I think they're still going to be looking towards Georgia, but I don't think they're going to overlook Texas A&M, as we all know, like you guys said. This is a trap game, so I don't think they're going to overlook Texas A&M that much, but I still think they're going to be looking towards Georgia. But I think they're going to get the job done.
Okay, so on to the Raging Cajun side of things here. So the Cajuns are taking on Texas State here. If you look at the history, Texas State has never beaten the Cajuns at all, whether it be at home or away. Juicy, what are you most looking forward to in this matchup here?
Looking forward to seeing UL bounce back here after, suffering a loss to Florida State, which we all expected, though. Florida State was has a little bit more depth, a little bit too much for UL, but I think you are gonna be fired up for sure. It's gonna be exciting to watch them come out fired up Saturday. Just taking care of the ball. Get that run game going. Let Woolridge and really spread the ball out. Get that 6 win. Get some bowl eligibility, baby. Let's do it. I'm ready.
What do you think, Jakar?
I'm kind of on the same lines with Juicy. I think the Cajuns are going to bounce back a big way, and to the point you brought up, saying that they've never lost to Texas State, whether it be home or away. I think they're going to make a statement against Texas State, and I think they're going to try to put up a lot of points to make sure that they get a bowl game.
So we know Ben Woodridge was out with an injury last week with against Florida State, and Chandler Fields completed 19 of 36 passes for 159 yards and a touchdown. But I mean, Florida State, they came out the gate screaming against the Cajuns defense. They scored 7 on their first 8 possessions, including
I'm
3 times.
sorry. I need to correct myself. I said Ben Wood.
Oh, I didn't. I thought you said without Woodard. I think yeah, okay. I thought you had
Yeah.
said yeah, but yeah,
The wrong name.
yeah. Ben Woodridge tore his ACL in practice Monday. From what we've heard from sources and stuff, that an offensive lineman got knocked down and landed right on Woodridge's knee. That's not confirmed, but I mean, regardless, it doesn't matter because he's out with a torn ACL injury, where they said lower body extremity injury, which is normally your knees or ankle. But regardless, Woodridge is out for this game, so the Cajuns got to rely on Chandler Fields here. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Michael Jefferson is easily Chandler Fields' most favorite target so far this year. I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen here with Chris Smith and Andre Jones. Can these guys get this Cajun off? Chris Smith getting the offense going, and can Andre Jones and Zion Hill? He's also looking to clinch history if he makes a sack.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he can break the school record for sacks in a career. So that's something that we're going to be looking forward to see at Texas State. The Cajuns have to win this game to get the bowl eligibility, to get that 6th win. I've seen CBS Sports had them projected to make the New Orleans Bowl. Others, some have them not even making it into a bowl, have them losing to Texas State. I just don't see that happening here. If you
Rick, they've never lost to Texas State, rather it be home all the way. So I don't understand. I don't understand how they're not favorites to win, and being that the backs against the wall, and being that they have to win this game, I don't see them not winning this.
The most points Texas State put up against the Cajuns was in 2020 when they scored 34 in San Marcos, which was the last time they were there. But every time the Cajuns have played Texas State, they have beaten them. They have scored over 27 points. That was the lowest they scored. That was in 2016, which was an away game. But every time they scored about 40-something points against Texas State. So we'll see what happens there. I think, I wish they gave me an average margin of victory here, but they haven't. I mean, average points is 38.22 for the game. So I'm thinking the Cajuns win this, though, convincingly. I think we're all in agreement on that one.
I think it's going to be.
Yeah, I think they'll win.
Yeah. All right, so let's see here. We're going to talk about some Raging Cajun men's basketball here. Big win last night. What can you say? I mean, them beating SMU was a huge win for the Cajuns here. They rocketed up to number 7 in the mid-majors poll. That is something that this Cajun team's red hot right now. And they got a real good test coming up Saturday against Drake. Both teams are undefeated so far this year. So, Drakkar, I know you like keeping track of the Cajuns basketball team. What can you add with that?
like you said, the Cajuns have definitely been red hot, but we all know Drake is definitely that's going to be a tough opponent for them. I honestly really don't know how this game is going to go, but I definitely think Cajuns are going to play hard. Um, like we know, now that they have the homegrown people down in 337 on their team, a lot of things have been changing for them. So I think the Cajuns basketball is definitely going to be on the up and keep rising this season. They've definitely shown a lot with these past games they played, but when it comes up to the next opponent, um, I really don't know how this game's going to go. To be honest, I hope the Cajuns win, but like I said, this is going to be a tough opponent this Saturday. So it all depends on how they on the pace of the game and how they come out. If they're knocking down shots, then then all they got to do is rely on their defense. But when shots aren't falling, sometimes the Cajuns get on a little cold streak when shots aren't falling, and that'll rely on the defense. The opposing team, if they're not hitting shots, the opposing team is going to a lot of opportunities in transition, and that's something that you don't really want to give to Drake. I mean, to the next opponent. I don't I don't know how that's going to go. To be honest.
Well, I think one thing to look at here. So Drake is ranked in the same poll. They're ranked number third in that mid-major poll with the Cajuns at number seven, and they're 1-2 all time against the state of Iowa, losing twice in a home series against Northern Iowa, which was back in 1991 and 1991 season, and defeating Iowa 80-71 in the Cayman Islands Classic in 2017. So this is their best five-game opening start since 1989-1990 season. So they're 1 of 2 unbeaten teams remaining in the Sun Belt, Southern Miss, and 41 nationally through games of November 22nd there. So I think it's going to depend on how well, like you mentioned, I think rebounding's a big thing here. The Cajuns don't really turn the ball over that much here. They had about 12 turnovers average for the games through the first 5 games. So I'm kind of wondering how that translates, right? You don't give them much opportunities. You get careless with the ball sometimes here in basketball, and you will turn the ball over at points. But 12 turnovers is not really a lot of turnovers over a course of 15 minutes and a half, and then you go 30 minutes and only turn it over 12 times. Really good. So I think the Cajuns. It's going to be a close game, but I'm gonna say the Cajuns pull this one out. I think they're gonna get it by the skin of their teeth. I say a 2-point victory, maybe overtime, maybe win for the Cajuns. But this is gonna be a really good one. I'm excited for this one. What do you think, Juicy?
Yeah, I mean, you hit everything on point. I mean, Drake's a pretty good team. Just gotta take care of the ball, and get take advantage of rebound and like Jakar was saying earlier, when shots aren't landing, that's why it's important to make like as many free throws as you can, because that's like the equivalent to like your putts in golf. But Jordan Brown and Jordan Brown carried them to a win against SMU. He scored 26 points, like a third of the points for him. So he could to carry him. And Greg Williams, I've seen, had 9 rebounds altogether. I mean, that's a formula for success right there.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at percentage, so it's kind of like Louisiana, when they have a better free throw percentage, they're 2-0. When the opponent has a better free throw percentage, they're 3-0. So
Yeah, so
they
free throws are a huge deal too.
they
Yeah.
say, yeah, if you get the freebies, that you like, if you're a good free throw shooting team, you're really
When
tough to
shots
beat.
aren't landing, you have to make free throws, and then times. Yeah.
hmm We also have to get to the line to make free throws.
Yeah.
So that's the Cajuns have to do. If the Cajuns are attacking the basket, they're drawing fouls, they're playing hard defense, they're getting turnovers, they could they could pull it off. But like I said, man, their opponent is not something for the weak. So if,
I, I'm
if they
thinking. Yeah, I'm thinking, look, if you look at from the field, the Cajuns' first five opponents, when the Cajuns are shooting, like the lowest the Cajuns have shot, 41 to 45% from the field, they're 2-0. Then, that goes up. That's the lowest they've gotten. It's the 41 to 45% range. So if you look at the opponents and how they shoot the ball, like their opponents when they're the highest that they've played an opponent was 50 to 59%, and they were 1-0. So they haven't faced a team that shot over 60% from the field, which is kind of you know if you're shooting 60% from the field, you're doing really great. Um, but you hardly ever see that though too much unless they're
Most
just
teams
red
go
hot.
45 to 50%.
Yeah, so that's typical. Like Juicy mentioned, 45, 50%. I'm gonna go with the Cajuns. Jakar, I need a pick from you, man. Who you going with?
I'll go with the Cajuns.
Okay.
Being that, like you said, the lowest they shot this season when they still won is in the 40%. So, I think their shots are going to be falling, and if they get out in transition, it's it's hard to stop a team when the team is running and they're hitting shots. So if they're hitting shots, that's the key formula for them. So and
Okay.
him hitting shots and making free throws, like Juicy said. So.
All right, Juicy, who you going with in this game?
Man, I was tempted to pick Drake, but I'm gonna go with the Cajuns. I like they're on a roll. I don't like to pick against a team on a roll, so I'm gonna go ahead and give them a close one at 6-0 here.
Okay, so we'll go over to men's basketball. They played Kansas State and they ended up losing that
Like,
game in the final, 61 to 59. LSU lost that game there.
oh, it went to overtime. It went to overtime.
Yes, yes, it did. Really the second half is really kind of what led to LSU losing this game here because they got outscored 28-18 in the second half here. KJ Williams scored 17 points, followed by Justice Hill at 12. Um,
Oh, they did lose.
yeah, so, if you look at the team stats throughout the game here, the Tigers shot better from the field. They were shooting 43.4% field goal range. And they were shot better 3 point, but the big difference, like we mentioned before, was free throws. Kansas State went 17 to 21 from the free throw line. The Tigers were 7 to 14. They made 81% of their free throws. Kansas State did, which was ultimately the difference in the game, getting to the line, making those free throws, like we mentioned before.
It was so important. It's the small thing.
Yeah, it's a very small thing. So, Juicy, what you thought about the game itself?
I thought it was. I mean, I thought it was a great game. I mean, can't Kansas State themselves is undefeated too, so it was a good matchup. I figured if LSU was going to lose one, it was probably going to be this game. I know I picked them to win, but I mean, yeah, the second half they kind of just let it get away from them. Wow, KJ Williams, he led the team in rebounds and in points, so he's a stud for sure, but I mean you can't do it by yourself. In basketball, a lot of times, most of the time you can. One player can do it a lot, but I mean, I guess Kansas State, like we said, it came down to small things like free throws. If LSU had hit a few more of those free throws, that would have been the difference in the game.
What you think, Jakar?
Uh, I think I think, man, this game came down to fundamentals. Like Juicy said, if LSU would have hit a few more free throws, it, we would have been talking about this game totally different. But you say they went 7-14, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's not
yeah. They only
wrong.
made their free throws while their opponent made almost not almost over 80% free throws. So I mean, once 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 it gets down to fundamentals like that, can you play fundamental basketball better than your opponent can? If you can't do that, most of the times you're going to lose, especially when it's close games. So that's all it came down to.
And he's close off his hurt, but
Yeah, they hurt.
Yeah, especially whenever you outshoot somebody from the field. Granted, it wasn't much. Tigers were 43.4% from the field, and Kansas State was 41.7% in that game. 3-point land, Tigers made 6 of 19. Kansas State made 4 of 15. Tigers shot 31% beyond the arc. Kansas State shots 26%. But I think you don't want to make that many fouls. You don't want to give up those fouls, and the Tigers did that tonight, and it really hurt them toward this game here. So I mean, if you look at rebounds and second chance points here, they were dead even with each other, 30 and 30. Offensive rebounding is really key. Tigers got one more than Kansas State. But Tigers led 76.9% of the game, and their last lead was at 49 seconds left to go. Kansas State was able to pull this out here. So
What happened though? Because I seen it was 61-61 at the end of regulation. They took points off or something.
So the Tigers, like I said, they had 22 personal fouls, while Kansas State had 16. That was your game right there.
Yeah,
That was it right there. That the fouls and getting to the free throw line, and this is the result you get. You cannot allow teams to get chances at this. So I mean, that's all you. I mean, there's nothing else to say. I mean, that's kind of like that was the game. Free throw shooting was the key stat you need to look at in this game and be like, okay, look, that's how the Tigers lost.
Yeah, they lost their fundamentals, man.
Fundamentals will get you if you don't practice them properly.
the extra points and field goals can be a different.
Oh yeah, LSU found that out against Florida State.
Right.
Like that's the most perfect example I could think of right now.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go to the women's side of things. LSU women's basketball, they're humming right now. I mean, can you talk about a team that just puts up points? The lowest points they scored was in an exhibition match, which didn't count. That was 88 points, which is still a high number of points, and regular season 100 points. So they're playing George Mason on Thanksgiving tomorrow. I got LSU winning this one. This is the Goombay Splash tournament they have. I think the LSU women will win this game. I don't think it's going to be even that close. Who you got, Juicy?
Yeah, I got LSU winning that game. I wouldn't probably put up another drop another 100 burger, as they say. I think LSU wins this one easily.
What you think, Drakkar?
Yeah, man. You guys hit it on the nail. And Logan, like you said, they've been putting up so much points, and as far as me, I kind of be following them because I'm in the sports betting team, so they have been my sleeper team, and it's like they put up so many points. It's like the games always go over when they're playing. No matter what opponent they have, they always go over, and that's gonna be the same thing for this game. I don't know how much points they're gonna score, but I know with the over and under for the game. I'm not sure. I never looked at it yet, but I know for a fact the game is gonna go over, and the Lady Tigers are going to be the reason why.
So, look, Angel Reese has been having a hot start. So, the sophomore, she transferred from Maryland. And, 5 games into this, she's averaging 23 points and nearly 16 rebounds during that stretch. And the Tigers have yet less to score than 100 points. So, I mean, that's like you're playing a video game, basically. I
Yeah,
mean, you can't really like
literally.
duplicate
Put
that.
up video game numbers right now.
That's I mean, what you think, Juicy?
I mean, there's nothing. I mean, there's nothing else to think. I mean, this is an absolutely crazy run right now. I don't think.
All right, I think the better question I want to ask both of y'all is this: does LSU make it over 100 points again? Just give me.
I think it's possible for sure against George Mason.
I
Tricar?
think they. I think they do.
Okay, I'm going with that statement. Yeah, I think they will as well. I think that's a very easy one right there. So, I mean, based on the track record, right? 5 games, over 100 points. I mean,
I'm not going to say they will, but I'm going to say it's very possible they do.
now we're going to go to the other side of the spectrum here. Louisiana Raging Cajun women's basketball. So far, they have had a disappointing season, but granted, their competition's been more tougher than LSU so far this year.
Yeah.
They're 1-4 so far this year. I mean, they played um, Spring Hill College, Houston, number 3 Texas, Colorado, Jackson State, and Texas Tech was their games they played so far. They played North Texas on the road at Denton, Texas. Um, I mean, I really don't know how good the women's basketball team is for the Cajuns this year because, I mean, we've seen them in action, but they've been playing some really tough competition. So, I mean, if you look back at, like, let's say the Texas Tech game here, so I'm going to pull up some stuff there just to kind of give y'all an idea of what, by the period here, um, Texas Tech was shooting 42% in the first, and then second, they shot 60 from the field. Third, they were shooting 87% and fourth, 57%. Whereas the Cajuns first period, they 14.3. Second, 13.3. Third, they had a poor shooting day. They just couldn't get it done. So the game field goal percentage in that was 25%. So if the Cajuns can limit, like if they can get fire, right? If they can catch fire and actually make their shooting better than they had last game against Texas Tech, I think they have a good opportunity there. But they did lose some talent over last year with Doucette leaving. And I think that it takes time to adjust, right? Tamara Johnson has been doing pretty good this year for the Cajuns here. I mean, she's averaging 9. Well, I mean, as a team, they're not really scoring a lot of points, 48, 41, 43, 45. But like I said, the competition's been tough because Spring Hill 77. So this is a good measuring stick game, I think, for the Cajuns here to really figure out what they actually are against a peer team like North Texas. Then they got Abilene Christian and LSU Shreveport. But I think they're going to shock some people. I think they'll win against North Texas. Who you got, Juicy?
I agree with you. I mean, obviously the shooting percentage just gotta get up. I mean, you can't win games with like 20, with for certainly under 35% field goal percentage, much less sub 30%. But like we said, the competition's been stiff, and they've kind of been dealt a short end of the stick on the schedule. But it gets much more favorable with North Texas, and then Abilene Christian, LSU. I'm looking at their whole schedule. I actually think every single one of these games are winnable, except for the Auburn game. I think from here on out, the schedule is much more favorable, and we get a much better view of what kind of team we're working with now from now to the end of the season.
What do you think, Jakar?
Yeah, like you guys said, man, they've been playing some tough opponents. But this Saturday against North Texas, this is definitely a winnable game. But like I said earlier about the basketball, they have to make shots. There's no way you can win a game shooting a shooting percentage as they're shooting now. Against North Texas, if they could push the pace, if they could hit shots and defend, and that'll be their recipe for success. They have to get up and they have to push the pace. They have to really take control of this game early if they really want to win. But like you said, their schedule has really been tough. Honestly, against Jackson State, I really thought that was going to be a winnable game for them. I didn't think Jackson State was going to come down here and beat them.
No, they actually have a pretty good win team over there.
Yeah. They actually do, but I still didn't think that they were going to come down here and beat the girls because I mean I do know Jackson State they just had a girl that got drafted to the WNBA. I forget which team, and she just got drafted last season. So I still didn't think they were going to come down here and.
They almost upset LSU in the first round last year in the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, y'all put up some really good information right there. I think that like Juicy said earlier, I think the schedule's gonna get more favorable. And like we're getting those two extremes, like the high up competition. Then you get like LSU Shreveport, who's not like they're not like.
Auburn is the
Then
only.
you got Auburn. I mean, like, but they got the next 3 or 4 games. You have wiggle room to get to 500 at least, and then figure out by the
Yeah.
time you get to that point.
One game.
HBU, LSU Shreveport,
Yeah,
Auburn.
because I mean, like that pace right there. I mean, it would have been tough for them to even get like 500 in that. I was not expecting them to get to 500 at that point because it was just very high caliber teams here. Like Juicy mentioned, Jackson State. They were sneaky good, really, because they made the NCAA tournament last year. I mean, like stuff like that. That's a good team right there. If you make the tournament, you're a good team, no matter how you slice it. All right, so let's get down to some college football picks here. I know y'all dying to get down with it here. So now we're gonna go through these. Give me like one or two like sentences, like why you think. We're gonna save the big one for last, and you already know what the big one is. That's gonna determine who gets in this playoff, basically here. Um, but we'll save that one for last because we can have some fun poking that one. Mississippi State versus number 20 Ole Miss. Juicy, I'll let you lead us off here. Who you got?
Um, you know, I'm gonna go with the upset here. I'm gonna go with my Mike Leach at Mississippi State.
Air Raid, baby. How you going, Jakar?
Um, man, I already know. Mississippi State. Oh, this is definitely going to be there's going to be a big game, a big in-state rival game, but I don't think it's going to be an upset. So I'll probably go with Ole Miss.
You, you know who's right out of y'all too? Jakar is. Ole Miss is gonna beat Mississippi State. Give me the Rebels to take down the Bulldogs.
All right.
All right. Baylor versus number 23 Texas. Who you got, Juicy?
I'm uh, I'm gonna go with Texas in this game. I think they'll pull this one out.
Who you got, Jakar?
Man, this is another in-state rival. I don't really think Baylor's going to win. To be honest, man, I really don't know. I'll probably say Texas Tech.
All right. I think Texas is gonna win this one. Quinn Ewers. I mean, whenever he's on, he's on. They're at home. Give me Texas in this one.
Yeah.
I have to pick Baylor, bro.
Yeah, well, they're 8.5 point favorites, Texas. But I mean, Baylor, they're coming off of a disappointing loss last week to
Yeah,
TCU.
they're coming out with a big loss.
Yeah. Number 19, Tulane versus number 24, Cincinnati. Cincinnati's at home. Juicy, who you got in this one, though?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with the Green Wave in this one. Give me two, man.
Willie Fritz's Green Wave. Who you got, Jakar?
I'm definitely going with the Green Wave. Cincinnati, they just don't look the same like they did last year. No, I know. I know they lost some key players, but
And their
still,
coach,
like,
they lost their offensive coordinator.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen the results of that this year. I mean, they're 9-2. They're still having a good season regardless. But I think
solid season.
yeah, I think Tulane's gonna win this game. But Vegas has Cincinnati by a 1 point favorite. So I mean, I'm obviously going to take my points here, but I mean, give me the Green Wave. Tulane. I think Tulane wins that one. North Carolina Wolfpack. North Carolina State Wolfpack taking on North Carolina Tar Heels. Big old rivalry game in North Carolina. Who you got, Juicy?
I'm gonna go the Mac Browns, baby. Give me a horse.
Going with the Tar Heels. All right. Jakar, who you got in that game?
The Tar Heels are definitely going to win. The Tar Heels have the best quarterback in college football right now. I don't care what anybody says.
Great name, yeah. Nobody
Dude, that dude,
about him, but he's so.
bruh, dude, that dude he for sure has the best arm in college
How's
football right
the
now.
Heisman race is what I want to know.
Well,
Right.
like okay, so like the Heisman is kind of a weird discussion here because you have to have like almost be a national championship contender or you're not going to win the
Based off
Heisman.
of numbers,
I mean, like it's crazy. Like it's like I mean, Tim Tebow's first year at Florida, they were like 8-5, but he somehow won. But I mean, you look at I think he has the best arm in college. But I agree with what Jakar said, but I got North Carolina winning this game here. But I mean, The Heisman's a real like it's like there's politics in that and stuff.
Lamar Jackson won the Heisman, and he didn't even. I didn't even think that Louisville was a really great.
It was a really good team. Like,
It's how much the media kind of hypes somebody up, then they'll kind of pay attention to them. But I mean, they really haven't.
Better than any of those boys in the race right now.
Yeah.
And Juicy, to your point, when Lamar Jackson won the Heisman, the year after that, he had a better year. He won the Heisman. So like that was that whole thing was crazy. And I think their team had more success the following year than when he won it, when he actually won it.
I think they're kind of like very protective of like I don't know why we have never had a back-to-back Heisman Trophy winner besides Archie Griffin.
It's all about brand, and it's all about Ohio State and Alabama.
Yeah,
Uh,
About
yeah.
brand.
like a lot of politics in it with it, like I said, or politics, how you want to say. But anyway, number 18, UCLA versus Cal. UCLA is going to win this game. Who you got, Juicy?
Yeah, you still that's how you see already.
Yeah.
Who you got?
UCLA.
Who you got your car?
UCLA.
Okay. Oh man, Florida Gators versus number 16, Florida State Seminoles. Um, Man, this is a tough one for me to pick because I'm like, I want to go with Napier.
Don't do it. Don't
uh,
do it. Don't do it.
you know,
Like,
you know what? Give me Florida. Florida's gonna do it. They're gonna beat the Seminoles. It's a rivalry, baby. I did it. I think they're gonna have that dog in them, like they say, right? Give me yeah, give me the Gators. Who you got, Juicy?
As Lee Corso says, not so fast, my friend. I got the Seminoles in this game.
All right, Jakar. Who you got in this game?
Seminoles.
The
I
Seminoles.
love Napier. Billy Napier did a great job here at UL, but this is not UL. This is the SEC. So
Okay, that's fair. South Carolina Gamecocks versus number 8 Clemson. Man, so look, this is a rivalry game. 14 and a half with Clemson. I'm a little worried about this one here, but I don't think South Carolina's going to catch Clemson off guard after what they just did to Tennessee. Give me Clemson to win this game. Who you got, Juicy?
Man, it's kind of tempting after that wild week last week with South Carolina. Tennessee, it makes you wonder because South Carolina because remember South Carolina was 3-point touchdown, three touchdown underdogs to Tennessee.
Right?
So, but you know what? After that emotional game, I'm gonna go with Clemson only because of the emotional game from last week with Tennessee.
Who you got, Jakar?
I'm taking Clemson, but I don't think they're going to cover the spread. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be closer than people think, for sure.
Oh, I would agree with that one for sure, especially after what they did to Tennessee. Jesus Christ.
Right. I didn't know the Gamecocks was like that.
Yeah, did not expect that one at all. I picked Tennessee last week. I'm like, they're going to beat them
Yeah.
easily. No, that was not the case at all. Y'all can hate me for that one. Georgia Tech versus number 1 Georgia. Bulldogs should easily win this game, but they might get caught looking ahead to LSU. This is a definition of a trap game. It's the worst kind of trap game because it's a rivalry game, but I think Georgia wins this one easily. Who you got, Juicy?
Well, Georgia Tech. I mean, it's a trap game. I agree with you because could look ahead to LSU and then Georgia Tech's trying to get bowl eligible, but I'm gonna go with Georgia Tech. I'm gonna go with Georgia in this game. I'm sorry. I was trying.
Okay.
Whoa. I'm not bold enough to pick a 35-point underdog.
Now,
35, yeah.
Who you got, Jakar?
I'm taking Georgia, but man, judging off their last game last week, their offense didn't look the same, like how they normally look. But of course, their defense is always going to be there. So I think their defense is gonna. I don't know if they're gonna shut Georgia Tech out, but I know it's going to be a blowout. But I think the defense is going to put up a real big fight this game. So I got Georgia covering the spread and Georgia Tech not scoring more than 2 points.
All right, number 25, Louisville taking on Kentucky. 7-4, 6-5. You know what, guys? Well, Vegas has Kentucky winning this by 3 points. And you know what? I'm gonna go with Vegas, but I call this an upset as well. I'm taking the Wildcats. Give me Kentucky to beat Louisville. Who you got, Juicy?
I agree with you. I'm gonna go with the Wildcats as well in this game.
Who you got, Jakar?
I'm an SEC boy till I die. So I'm going with Kentucky.
Okay. Number 9, Oregon versus number 21, Oregon State. Now, this one is gonna be a really good one. This is a rivalry game. Oregon favored by 3 points here. I'm tempted to pull an upset here, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna pick Oregon. I think Bo Nix is gonna do a very good job with Oregon. Who you got and lead them to victory? Who you got, Juicy?
You know the way Bo Nix has been playing with Oregon. You know what? I'm feeling lucky. I'm gonna go with the Beavers, baby. I'm gonna go with the upset here.
All right, all right. Who you got, Jakar?
I don't think it's going to be an upset. I definitely think Oregon is going to pull this off.
All right. Auburn versus number 7, Alabama. You know, Auburn's, looking for their next head coach. There was a sports reporter, I think out of, was it Alabama or Mississippi? And he tweeted that, oh, I got sources saying that Lane Kiffin is going to go to Auburn. And Lane Kiffin responded with his own tweet. And he's like, I have sources that such and such sports reporters going to like the rival station.
And watch Lane Kiffin would go to Auburn.
I mean, but you got to put up with the boosters over there. If I was Lane Kiffin, I'd probably stay at Ole Miss. Honestly, Auburn's kind of a dumpster fire right now. But I'm gonna go with.
Kind of like Williams.
I mean, hey, I'm not saying you can't get good players at Auburn. I think that's I mean, you could very well get good players at Auburn, but I think
it's always hard. But now that they have the NIL thing going on, like we all seen Alabama kind of fall off. I think they're falling off because of that. I think these players that are 5 star, they don't want to wait to get on the field. They know that now they can actually get money from playing. So why would they go to Alabama?
so yeah, like Jakar mentioned, you got like brand exposure. Like we mentioned this last year. Like this might equal the playing field really. And like I mean, look at LSU this year. And like you have teams that came out of nowhere and they're like up there with the USC. Like they were nowhere near what they are this year.
Well, not to
TCU.
take away from what these coaches have done.
But like I think with NIL, like Alabama, they're not gonna have an like remember I remember a couple of years ago they had Derrick Henry in that backfield, Alvin Kamara, I think TJ Yeldon was back there. I forget there was some like that was a loaded backfield.
I think Josh Jacobs there?
I think Josh Jacobs was on that backfield too, if I remember right. But yeah, but I got Alabama beating Auburn. Who you got, Juicy?
You know, I have Alabama too, but I will say that I'm really pulling for Auburn because I like Cadillac Williams, and I think uh, they're gonna fight hard for him because they play better with him, and I do think that Auburn's gonna keep it closer than 22 points, but expect Auburn to be fired up to try to get full help for sure.
Yeah, trying to.
I mean, anything can happen.
Oh yeah, like you want to get bragging rights, especially in Alabama. That's a big state. This is a big game for both these teams here.
Cadillac Williams said that it's personal with him for Nick Saban because Nick Saban had passed on draft.
Yeah.
When he was coaching Dolphins. So
when he was in Miami, I saw that. Yeah.
All right, Jakar, who you got in this game?
I'm going with Saban, but like Juicy said, I'm definitely rooting for Cadillac. He has a cool name, by the way. But yeah, Alabama's definitely going to win this. It's too much talent, too much firepower. and Alabama is still playing for something, but Cadillac Williams is trying to himself, and it's been a lot of rumors about their head coach, but it's pretty for the job. So he's trying to win over the job, and if he beats Alabama, he's definitely going to get the job.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, he probably is playing for the job, to be honest with you, right here. I mean, if he went, yeah, if he beats
The
Alabama, he's
players
definitely.
like him. The
So, all
players
right.
like him.
Yeah, yeah, and that's
Yeah, they do. I mean, he was like one of them. He's a players coach.
yeah. The players like him.
Yeah, number 14, Utah versus Colorado here. I got the Utes winning this one easily. Who you got, Juicy?
Yeah, I got Utah win. It's not gonna be close. 1-10 Colorado. I don't expect it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm the same way, guys. Colorado had a tough season this year, and they're not going to pull this out.
All right, Michigan State versus number 11, Penn State. I got Penn State winning this game. Who you got, Juicy?
Yeah, I got the Nittany Lions as well.
Who you got, Jakar?
Penn State.
All right, Iowa State versus number 4, TCU. I mean, 10-point, favorite in over there in Vegas. So I'm gonna go. I think TCU they win this game. Who you got, Juicy?
I got TCU as well. But do note that Iowa State's been known to pull off, shake up a lot of rankings and stuff at the end of the season. But I think TCU's gonna win this one.
Who you got, Jakar?
Yeah, TCU is playing for the playoff lives right now, so they can't afford to lose. They really can't afford to win by a little too. So they need to they really need this. So they're definitely going to come out on top,
Oh,
and I think it's going to be a blowout.
all right, number 22, UCF versus South Florida. I got the Knights winning this one. Give me UCF. Who you got, Juicy?
Yeah, I got UCF as well. It's not gonna be close.
Who you got,
Yeah,
Jakar?
yeah, and I'm the same way. UCF, it's not going to be close.
All right, number 15, Notre Dame, 8-3, taking on number 6, USC, 10-1. USC's at home. Um, who you got, Juicy?
I'm gonna go with the Trojans, but Notre Dame looked a lot better since the season started. They started off 0-3, and now they're 8-3. So I do like the Trojans to win this game, but this is gonna be a pretty interesting game to watch.
This is a rivalry game, though, too. Who you got, Jakar?
Yeah, this is definitely a rival game, but the Trojans are definitely going to pull this off.
I'm going to tell y'all something. You're both wrong.
Ooh.
Notre Dame is going to stun the college football world when they beat USC Saturday night in
Oh,
the Coliseum. I got Notre Dame beating USC. Come on, Leffy.
That's
All right, number 10, Tennessee versus Vanderbilt. I got Tennessee winning this one. Who you got, Juicy?
oh, Tennessee's only 14 points. Well, Henry Hooker is hurt.
Yeah,
yeah.
I,
You know,
I still got Tennessee though. I think even with him out, they got enough firepower on offense. I think they'll be all right. Their defense is the biggest concern for me with Tennessee though. Who you got,
you know
Juicy?
what? I really like Vanderbilt. How they're on a two-game SEC win streak right now. After they had not winning one since 2019, and but Tennessee, they had that rough game against South Carolina. But you know what? Call me crazy, but I'm going with the Commodores, baby. I'm going with the Commodores.
Whoa. Okay, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Who you got, Jakar?
Um, I I think Tennessee is going to win this. Yeah, I really don't think it's going to be close. I mean, I know that quarterback is hurt, but like you said, Logan, they still have a lot of firepower on offense. But the only thing, their defense is suspect. But they're still going to pull this off.
All right,
I'm advantage because to me, they look better than the past couple of weeks. Like they look like they come together.
yeah.
So I'll take my chance on the Commodores.
Kansas versus number 12 Kansas State. Give me the Wildcats. Who you got, Juicy?
I'm gonna go with Kansas State as well.
Who,
But if Jalen Daniels is playing for Kansas, I wouldn't be surprised if Kansas won the game.
who you got, Jakar?
I'm taking Kansas State.
All right. Number 13 Washington versus Washington State. Oh, the Apple Cup, man.
Yeah.
This is a tough one. You know what? I'm going to an upset. Washington State's gonna knock off Washington. Who you got, Juicy?
You read my mind. I'm gonna go with the Cougars as well.
Who you got, Jakar?
You guys like upsets, man. Um,
You can't
yeah,
predict rivalry games. You cannot predict rivalry games.
yeah, you really can't. You really can't. I don't know, man. This is gonna be a tough one, but Washington State has a good chance. I'll go with them.
Okay. All right. We're all in agreement then.
Well,
All right. So, which Big Ten team is getting in the playoff? Maybe both of them might get in. We don't know. Number 3, Michigan versus number 2, Ohio State. This is the game of the week here on the Fishbowl Radio. Um, Juicy, how about you start us off here?
Oh man, the biggest game probably of the college football season right now. Biggest one of the oldest rivalries I think in college football, if I'm not mistaken as well. Uh, man, I don't know. You don't really don't know which way the thing's gonna go. They got Ohio State's got C.J. Stroud, 35 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. But Ohio State really, they've had a weaker schedule, I think. I think Michigan and Ohio, well, Michigan's had a really tough schedule, I think. But Ohio State really had hasn't had a hard schedule. I mean, Penn State's the hardest game, but Michigan, I think, I'm gonna go with the Buckeyes, man, only because they playing in the horseshoe and they got home field advantage. Because I really don't know which way this game's gonna go. You never know with these rivalries, like you said. 'Cause this is such a deep, bitter rivalry. I mean, it's hard to predict, but I'm gonna go with the Buckeyes.
What you thinking, Jakar?
man, Michigan is coming off of a game where they should have beat the brakes off Illinois, but they only put up 19. Um, so I'm gonna have to go with Ohio State on this one. Um, I think Ohio State is gonna be moving the ball against the Michigan defense. They're gonna be running. They're gonna be throwing it, and this game is gonna come down to who's gonna stop who. And I think Ohio State defense is going to step up big against the Michigan offense. And Ohio State defense is going to give their offense a chance to go out and win this game. But this game is going to be close, and it's probably going to be high scoring too.
So, what my opinion on this game is, I think it's gonna be a field goal. Now, granted, I don't. I mean, it's kind of hard to gauge how this is going to go here. I think it's going to come down to whoever has the ball last. I think that team will put it in the end zone because I don't really trust both their defenses too much here. Michigan experienced a typical trap game. They managed to survive it last week. But I'm thinking that the Buckeyes are going to win this game here. But I think it's going to be a field goal late. I think they're going to get it down. I think Michigan's going to go up late and then C.J. Stroud's going to lead the Buckeyes down the field. They're going to kick a game-winning field goal to
Well,
win it.
Michigan has the best running back from Blake Corum.
Yeah, so I think Stroud's going to get it done for him, though. Give me the Buckeyes to knock off Michigan here. So, well, we've picked every single top 25 game. We covered the Cajuns. We covered LSU. We did everything that we needed to do around here in the great area of Acadiana here. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Fishbowl Radio. And anything I want to say, guys, before we get out of here, Juicy? What you got to say?
No, I just want to thank the car for taking time to come on the show. But that's about it.
All
Yeah,
right.
man. Thank you guys for having me, man. This was been supposed to be in the making, to be honest. Me and Logan have been talking about this since I was his coworker.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad to be here, man. I'm a fan of you guys. I love what you guys are doing, and hopefully this is the last time.
Yeah, so we got some new merch coming out. We have, I guess we should promote that on here. We got some stickers that we finally got to ordering and stuff, and I wanted to do it whenever we got 1,000 followers on Twitter, and that's what we did over the last month. So, as an appreciation to Fishbowl Nation, we have got some stickers coming in from Sticker Mule. I appreciate them for shipping us some stuff over here, and we got some other stickers as well. Um,
Working
so
on more merchandise.
yeah, we're working on it. We're trying to figure out what we want to do next. Do y'all want shirts? Do y'all want koozies? You know what I mean? Give us some comments and what y'all would like to purchase here at the Fishbowl Radio. One thing I think that we all can agree on here, I think Juicy and I think Drakkar can even agree on this here. We want to be non-biased, but we want to tell y'all the truth. We want to give y'all facts. We want to give y'all the right information that y'all need, and just give y'all honest opinion. Like if we think the Cajuns are trash, we're gonna tell you they're trash. If we think LSU's trash, we'll tell you they're trash. We've done it before on this show, um, and that's not gonna change because I think honesty is something. Honestly, honesty never goes out of style. Is one thing you can take away from the Fishbowl Radio. Um, so yeah, that's my little spiel, I guess, about philosophy here at the Fishbowl. We'll just be completely honest in what we actually think. So, and that ain't going to change here on this podcast as long as me and Juicy's on it. So, thank y'all for tuning in. I hope you have a great, wonderful Thanksgiving, and holiday season coming up here. So, thank y'all for tuning in. Hope you have a great and wonderful weekend. We'll see y'all next week here on the Fishbowl Sports Radio.
Good night, Fishbowl.